Here's your daily updates. Newsman Dennis Daly offers his take on the events of the day in another daily video blog.
Hi, and thanks again, everybody. I'd like to thank everyone who has written me with such good comments about what we've been doing here on an almost daily basis, especially David here in Palm Springs. I respect his opinion a lot. He's a college professor, went to high school and everything. He was telling me how much he liked the video about the old arch bridge near Grantsville, Maryland. Well, that reminded me that that's not only the typical stunning bridge you'll find on Old Highway 40. There are some bridges along the way, particularly in Ohio, that are weird looking. But first, let's refresh our memories about the old National Road. That bridge we highlighted in Grantsville, Maryland was right there. But there's an interesting section of Highway 40, the old road, in eastern Ohio. Let's zoom in on it. You know, that's a pretty hilly section, but there are some normal-looking bridges on the old National Road like this one. As we learned in Grantsville, arches since Roman times have really been popular, but there were some S bridges. That's right, commemorated with historical markers. This is the way one of them looked in the early days of the automobile, and here's a kind of grainy overhead shot of one of the S bridges that you can still drive on in Ohio. Look off to the right. You see that? That's old U.S. Highway 40. There's something else that's interesting about this area. There are tons of straight bridges over the tributaries of major rivers, but those wonderful curvy S bridges were pretty special. Engineers actually did that so they could cross the creek or river at a right angle and come up to it from two different angles, one on each side. And look at this, a rare brick section of the old road. One of the best preserved S bridges is in Blaine, Ohio. It was redone for Ohio's bicentennial, brick and all. It sits right beside the 1930s bridge that was put there for U.S. Highway 40. It was dwarfed and forgotten. Now, near New Concord, Ohio, John Glenn's hometown, there's this bridge. See it from the roadway? Let's look at it in an aerial photograph. Pretty, isn't it? They've even put in a parking lot so you can stop and go there. But look a little bit toward the east. You see that ridge running on the edge of the hillside? Let's highlight it here. That is where the old road used to go. You can still see traces of it a century later, heading out toward Washington, D.C. And one other thing, about 80 feet to the east. Can you see that? Can you see something there in the old right-of-way? Look closer. A tiny little segment, not well preserved, of brick. Yes, highway making has changed a lot over the years, and thank God some of the old bridges are being preserved. And no, the designers hadn't had too much moonshine when they put those S bridges together. They remain, though, as a monument to another time in American history. I'm Dennis Daly with your Daily News Update.